Before I get into the collection video, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on all my social media platforms at HauzPlant. I'm on Instagram and TikTok at HauzPlant, HauzPlant. So yeah, without any further ado, with Miss Jinx super comfy in her box, let us get into the collection. So we are now in the bedroom, and I'm just giving you a little tiny pan of the plant area for the bedroom plants. And of course, the pièce de résistance, my beautiful dumb cane, my Dieffenbachia. I went through a horrible just ordeal with thrips in my entire plant collection of every single last plant in my home. I think except for maybe 5 of them, and that's because they were like hung up really high, and I guess the thrips didn't have the chance to, you know, flap their little weak wings and take over that collection. But I actually did end up battling thrips on my Dieffenbachia and on my Monstera. It really sucked, but we got rid of them. No more thrips in the house. So as always, I have my beautiful Aglaonema. This is the Silver Queen. And of course, it always shares a pot with my Dieffenbachia, my dumb cane. I forgot which one. I think this is the Tropic Snow. I love it so much. I do plan on actually chopping this plant down. It is, I'd say, maybe about like 6.5 feet now, and before it reaches the ceiling, we're gonna have to do something about it. So that's that. There's actually 2 plants inside of this pot, but we're gonna cut it down to bring it to be fuller. I have a Masoniana Wellfin with a little pup trying to unfurl. I have this snake plant. I'm not sure what kind it is, but it was one of my very first propagations, so that's chilling right here. If we pan here, I have an empty pot that used to have my Bird of Paradise. No more Bird of Paradise, and this is the beautiful Monstera Deliciosa that you can see just had horrible, severe thrip damage, and it was really sad, but I had to just pretty much space my plants out in the home and just treat every single last one of them, because when I tell you thrips is no joke, it is no joke on your plants. So Miss Jinx here has a box that I put on the heater for her with a barrier to keep it warm but not too hot. She loves boxes, so what better way to spoil your pet than give them a box in front of a window. So here I have some plants that I got from a trade swap situation. I have a snake plant, a Sansevieria. I have a Brazil Philodendron, and in here I have this golden dragon. I have a Scindapsus exotica and a silver Scindapsus in here. In this windowsill, I have on the air conditioner, I have a variegated Philodendron Burley Marks, another variegated Philodendron Burley Marks. I have this, I'm not too sure what type of Philodendron. Again, I'm gonna put the name. It was a freebie from this purchase. And lastly, I have a variegated Wayedii. Over here, I have my broom and my beautiful ficus fiddle fig tree. I've been like just chopping it and trying to give it more notes, so now it does have 2 new growth points. It has one here and here, so I'm happy this plant is finally branching off. The last plant inside of the bedroom section over here is another ficus. This is my ruby elastica. So on this big barren wall, which is literally just across from the window, I have my Hoya cage, and in here we have a couple of Hoyas. Sorry for the bad lighting, but it's really been dreary outside. I have a silver dollar, I have carnosa, I have a carry eye. I also, that's part of the carnosa, I think. Yeah, I have a pubicalyx, and I have another carnosa in here. So those are all the plants that I keep in my bedroom for now. Let's go to the bathroom. So we are in the bathroom right now, and I have here, just because I needed it to be watered, and actually let me remove it from this water so I don't root rot it. Wow, fail. I have one of my favorite Hoyas ever, which is my Hoya rotundiflora. I'm gonna let it just drain and then put it back in the room. I have on my windowsill, I have this Philodendron Brazil, and it also, like I mentioned, went through the bouts of thrips damage. So this is the last plant that I'm treating for thrips. I completely forgot it was in the room. It was so high up on the shelf, and somehow it still got damaged with thrips. Literally, I just watered it, and all of the foliage literally was just like falling off. So we are rehabbing this plant. I have this beautiful, 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 what is this called again? One of the ferns that needs watering before it gets dry. But ferns, I'm finding that this is not too hard to take care of. You just keep it really moist like I would my polyneura, and it's happy that way. So here in my hallway, I actually opted to not get a Christmas tree this year. I think next year I want a live tree, but I want to find one that gives you the live tree still potted and not chopped. So I have a Norfolk pine here that I use as my Christmas tree. I have a couple of cute ornaments here. This is my birthstone. This is from Brianna from Nova Scotia, one of my salty pecans. This is the Hogwarts Express, and this is from my girl Amanda. It was a housewarming party gift. It's a bauble with my information on it. So thank you, Wedgie. Love you, boo. So in my living room, I'm not just gonna show you the whole living room, but the only plant I have in my living room, this room doesn't really get any light. So I do have my money tree in here, and it's been here since my housewarming party. I haven't moved it back to the other rooms where they belong, but even still, the way my mirrors are positioned inside of this room, this plant is able to get some sort of light on top of, obviously, this big old bulb. If you can see, it's not gonna show you, but this big old bulb above it, and you can see these lime green leaves are new growth. So it's still growing in here, but I would not recommend anyone to keep a live plant inside of a room that does not get ample amount of sunlight, especially if it's a plant that needs ample sun, like a money tree. I am gonna move it back to the plant room, office room soon, but for now it's just chilling here until I stop being lazy and move it out of the living room. But this is the only plant so far in the living room that I have. I want to be able to, add more lighting situation, because this room again does not have a light source. I want to be able to configure it in a way that I can keep live plants in here, but until then I don't have anything besides my money tree, which was used for staging, and it's been here for a month now. Now we are in the plant room, and this used to be my old bedroom, but now I've converted it into a plant room, and I have plants pretty much everywhere, and not everywhere, but it does the job that it needs to do. So let's start off here in this corner, which used to be where I filmed back in the day. I do want to come back and film here again, but getting everything set up, it's you know, it takes time to set stuff up. You really think you'll be faster than you are, but you really aren't. Gotta be quicker than that. So the first plant here I want to start off is these Euphorbia lacteas. They are from DR. I got them in 2014 and they have just been growing like crazy. It's a pretty huge plant. And right next to the lactea, I have my beautiful Monstera deliciosa that was sent to me by Hannah, and my Monstera is also named Hannah after Hannah. Beautiful, beautiful. I have it finally on a moss pole, so I do hope that it starts to fenestrate again, because the older leaves used to fenestrate, but it's disliking not having something to stake up on, I'm assuming. So I gave it a moss pole, and I'm hoping the new growth are fenestrated. So pray for me, y'all. When I pan a little bit more to the right, inside of here I have this little propagation jar. I have some Crimson Princess, I have some Royal Hawaiian Purple Pubicalyx, I have some more Pink Princess, and I think that's all I have inside of here. And more on the floor, I have two Euphorbia lactea white ghosts. Those are from Island Obesa Puerto Rico plants. You can shop on that website for them. And this is one of my Spiralis cactus. So, down here I have these little cute, this fairy garden that I made with Svetlana. Some of the other plants that I placed in here have not survived, but the rest of these did survive. And I do want to mention every plant again that you're seeing in this room had thrips, some more severe than others, but I could not let any of these get damaged. So they were the first plants that I dealt and treated for the pest before the pest, you know, took over and killed anything else. So yeah, right above this cutie here, I have a ZZ plant, dope ZZ plant, and I have my burley marks right above the ZZ plant. Can you see how large and just wild this plant is? So amazing, so amazing. I do have to probably give it a better pole to stand more upright. So a little bit next to that, I have another elbow cutting, and that one has been trying to push out a new growth since I received it. And if we go up here, I have another Philodendron silver stripe. I have a snake, this one's one of the snake ones. I forgot what is this called, but you know, calatheas, one of the snake calatheas. And next to that I have, oh, you see how it's balding at the top. This is my Polyneura broguette. It's doing good. I have up here a lovely, isn't she lovely? Rhaphidophora decursiva with a new leaf coming out. So excited about that. And up top here, I have one of these beautiful botanical pots. And in it I have this moss situation with global green pothos and some more burley marks. Hanging up, I do have a Philodendron bipennifolium. I have a Philodendron, no, is this Philodendron? It's a Pothos skeleton key, Epiprimnum skeleton key. I sold the prettier key looking ones, but they're pushing out some new growth. So you can see they're very like keyed off. So on the next pole, I have my delicious, luscious Monstera Peru. And next to that, I have my Macrophylla, Hoya Macrophylla. And I have this Elise, I can't remember the name, Elysimurum, something. I have a silver, Philodendron silver something. pretty tall. I've chopped this plant up so many times. And then next to that, I have this little propagation jar with some of these monsteras. And here, right below, I have this beautiful Scindapsus Pictus Jade Satin. When I tell you this plant is so thick and luscious. So that is basically all of the plants here in this section. I have a couple of these horns, taxidermy situation that I love, don't judge me. And on this wall, I have my delicious, thick, juicy, full, let's face you correctly. This is my golden pothos, one of the older plants in my collection. I think I got this in maybe 2015 or 2016. I have this here, which is my micans, my Philodendron micans. I don't think there's any plant that could ever compete with the green, luscious deliciousness of a Philodendron micans. And on this shelf, I have one plant because the rest of them were fatalities of the thrips. I have this here. Oh, you might be able to see a thrip because I haven't touched the plants on here yet. That's probably a thrip, that little black thing on this leaf. Probably not. But anyways, yeah, so that's like a thrip right here walking. Yeah, so let's get rid of that actually before it touches anything else in its vicinity. But so I have this just regular old green Pothos, Philodendron actually. Inside of this beauty, oh, you see me in my floral fit. Oh wow, speaking of, I have some florally planty pajamas on, of course. And in here, I just have two plants. I have my booby cactus next to the penis cactus, and they're just being really sexual, so we give them their privacy because they need it. Believe it or not, this little sad, pathetic plant is my huge, thick, delicious, used to be super full Syngonium white butterfly. Again, thrips got to it, and the best main way to get rid of thrips, because how they lay their eggs is actually in the tissue or like on the underside of your plant, is to just remove the foliage and just behead it and let your plant start from scratch. So there are so many new growth points, if you can see, and I don't have a problem because I've had this plant for about a decade now. This plant is about 10 years old. It started off just as a little cutting of nothing, and it's vined and vined and just vined and vined and vined. So I know by spring this thing is going to be full and luscious like nothing ever happened to it. But yeah, this is a starting point of fatalities of thrips. So on this window, I have just miscellaneous things again. I have this here. It's a white Syngonium. It's the variegated Syngonium albo. And this one lives inside of moss. We are going to nurture this cutting back to health because it was full as every other plant was once, and now it isn't. I have this Mother of Thousand that I don't know how it's still alive. And I had these cactus in here, neglected them. It was the leaning cactus that I actually really thought was cute, but you know, we're here now and it's dead. Yeah, just more jars of stuff. So up here, I'm gonna probably just have to pull down every plant to show you. I have, let me give you a pan of the windows. Basically how it looks. So I have this Curtsii, Hoya Curtsii. I believe this is a Ripsalis bacifera. So thick and luscious. It's like so hard to put these things back. Behind that Ripsalis vocifera, I have another pot of multiple Ripsalis. I have the Pilocarpa in here. I have this kind, that's not a Pilocarpa. And then I have this kind, that's also not a Pilocarpa. This pot is dead. And I have here my shark tooth cactus. This is how the shark tooth cactus looks. It's a very big, very heavy plant. And right by there, I have my Hoya Mauna Loa and my Hoya Regalis. These are both Carnosa compactas, okay? In this windowsill section, I have shoes mixed with plants. This window is always a jumble mess of plants, not in a bad way though. So of course, if you know, I have an obsession with Hoya compactas, so I had to get the cousin of it, which is the Swiffer's tail. It looks like a compacta, but it is not a compacta at all. And there's some new growth right here, which is so cute. We love it. We stand new growth. We always stand new growth. I have this, gosh, I forgot what type of Hoya this is, but it's still surviving, still dealing with me. And I have this Hoya Illigorium, which I love. I have my beautiful string of hearts, my regular string of hearts. I have this Pedatum that's going through some stuff. I'm probably gonna chop it up and probably chop it like back to like here and just re-root all of these, but that's fine. This is a super dried, dead string of turtles. Super sad, I know. I have the string of hearts Silver Glory. So happy to have my hands on that. I love that. Always wanted it. So happy to have it. On the window, I have this Haworthia, I think zebra. This sort of zebra style Haworthia. I have this Weedii, regular green Hoya Weedii. Above that, I have a non-tissue culture. What is these called again? The non-tissue culture Rhaphidophora. I have a Hoya Bertinoi. I have one compacta, two compacta that lives with a fern. And behind that, I actually also have a Monstera, no, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma tissue culture. So I have a non-tissue culture and I have a tissue culture. And right below that, I have my beautiful Syngonium albo, which is like just going crazy, vining. And the tetrasperma that I mentioned decided to just like start climbing on the wall. So I can't even really move it because it's vining and climbing on my wall, and that means it's happy, at least, right? At least it's happy there. So we're just leaving it here to do its thing. So those are the plants that live in this little section. And if I pan you just a little over, you probably like, oh, there's another plant vining on this wall. Correct. And it is my regular Scindapsus pictus argyreus. And below the argyreus, I have a Crimson Queen. And on this desk shelf situation here, I have a pot of, this is the Queen, Marble Queen Pothos, regular Hawaiian Purple Pothos. I have a Australis Sania. I have Pink Princess here in this pot doing her thing. And I also have a right here, Philodendron Mayoi behind that. And I have these cuties here, which are the Mother of Millions chandelier plant. And this is a dying pink princess that I need to get my life together and not let die. So this is just a quick pan again of the plants in the plant room. So the last few plants I'm gonna mention are my kitchen plants, and it's gonna be really quick. So in here I have just a propagation jar that has some, I believe this is another Burley Marks. This is in a Maria Illusion Syngonium. This has the, what is this called? The shark tooth. It has some Ripsalis in here. I also have another Ripsalis propagation situation here. And here I have Amanda. She is a golden pothos pot with propagation water. So this is my counter, the other side of my counter, and on this side I have some, you know, awesomeness. I have these Monstera that I actually got from Not Dude. I have another Burley Marks, and I have my Monstera Siltipicana, my salty pecan plant, which, you know, is my pride plant. I love it so much. Here I had some more plants that were severely affected by the thrips. This is one of the monkey mask Monsteras that my cousin got me for my birthday a few years ago, and this is just another propagation jar. So over here I have another Philodendron regular jade scadens inside of one of these self-watering pots. I love this thing. This plant, as isolated as it is, also had to deal with thrips. I don't know how. So this is the last section of plants I have right here on the floor next to the heater. I have the silver Scindapsus plant. I have a cutting of the silver queen Aglaonema, and I have here another beautiful ZZ plant. This one has flowered for me once or twice already, and I did not know that ZZs were plants that flowered, but obviously a plant either like flowers or fruits or something else. But yeah, I have this plant which also dealt with the thrips and scale. We are good now, thrips are gone. I actually beheaded this whole plant, and I had a whole Instagram video for it, just dealing with thrips. So this right here is a Masoniana, and it looks so gross inside of this like algae water, but it has so many pups in here that I really need to just clean this out one day. I have another snake plant here that I propagated from single leaf. I have a aloe. You all need an aloe. This is a plant everyone needs in their collection. I have this Raven ZZ that's mixed with some golden pothos. This cactus situation that I'm terrified to touch because it hurts. And the last plant is, well, it's not the last plant. I have this, what are these? Bamboo that dealt with thrips also. So sad. My neighbor gifted everyone in the building their own poinsettia. They've been doing it every year for the last 3 years since they moved in. So yeah, salty peeps, this is the last live thing. This is like willow sticks. And it's rooting inside of the water, so I'm excited to see it flower eventually. But yeah, salty peeps. Okay, my salty pecans, so this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this basically 2022 houseplant collection video. I can't believe it is January 2nd, 2022, and where has time flown? So yes, if you like this video, please let me know by giving it a big ol' thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little cookie family because we're pretty awesome here. Become a salty pecan, and don't forget to hit the